We're almost to the trailhead. This is the river crossing. We have to come across to get to the trailhead, so we gotta be pretty close. Piece of cake. Some friends from work and I had been planning a trip to the Uintas for months now, and the time had finally arrived. We all agreed that Deadhorse Pass would be the destination. For one, none of us had been there before. And for two, we had all heard it was an incredibly scenic hike. We hit the trailhead early in the morning. Figured we had 8 to 9 miles to get into Deadhorse Lake, most of which would be uphill. So we come down to the river, thinking we're just a little over maybe a mile in. There's some pretty country. Good group of fellas. Well, this is our first crossing. Not sure how many times we're gonna have to cross this bad boy. We'd be following the west fork of the Blacks Fork River the entire way to Deadhorse Lake, which lies at the base of Deadhorse Pass. Man, it was great to be back in the Uintas. We were trying to make it to Deadhorse Lake on the first day, but we probably went in a little heavier than we should have, and as the miles stacked up, it started to take its toll. So we decided to make camp on the river, lick our wounds, and get a fresh start the next morning. After coffee and breakfast, we packed up and headed out. We guessed we only had a few miles to get to Deadhorse, and even though there would be a bit of climbing involved, we figured we could get to the lake early enough to get some fishing in before setting up camp. The Uintas never disappoint. The farther we hiked in, the more impressive the scenery became. Fishing at Deadhorse was a little slow, but the great thing about the Uintas is, if one lake is slow, there's usually another lake not too far away that might be better. So we headed to Ejod Lake to test the waters there. Part of our motivation for coming to this area were rumors of a couple of lakes on the south side of Deadhorse Pass that held sizable brook and cutthroat trout. But between the weight of our packs and the effects of being at such high elevations, some of our group decided to remain at Deadhorse Lake, while others decided to push over the pass and down into Rock Creek Basin. view from atop Deadhorse Pass was simply amazing. It was exhilarating to be walking on top of cliffs that the day before we'd been staring up at from 1,000 feet below. After descending the south slope of Deadhorse Pass, we made our way to Ledge Lake, where we intended to make camp for the night. So here we are. We made it. This is Ledge Lake. Guessing that's where it gets its name. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a pretty good waterfall over there. So I think we're gonna set up camp, eat us a little lunch, see what the fishing's like. Get back to you on that later. After getting camp situated and getting some much needed rest, we dropped our packs, left the trail, and went in search of these lakes that were rumored to hold the big fish. Well, this was a lake that I've been wanting to try and get to for some time. Fishing here's been pretty damn good. Fish are really good sized. A lot of walking and climbing and descending to get here. Well, looks like this is about the end of day 3. It's been an awesome day, I will say that. Most of the other group stayed back at Deadhorse. Josh and I decided to press on, take a little adventure over Deadhorse Pass, which...
Calling it an adventure is accurate.
To put it mildly. Deadhorse was no joke, and as the night drew to a close, we kept coming back to just how treacherous it was going to be descending the north slope of the pass to make it back to our friends at Deadhorse Lake. It was looking like another beautiful day in the High Uintas, and while we were packing up to head back, the guys at Deadhorse were killing it at Ejod Lake. Alright, it's morning of day 4. We're here at Ledge Lake.
Finishing up some breakfast. We're gonna break camp here shortly and try to go up over Deadhorse Pass and back down to meet up with the rest of the group.
Which should be quite an adventure in itself. That Deadhorse Pass is something else. It is steeper than hell. So we'll see how that works out. We just packed up the packs, getting ready to head out of Ledge Lake. Gonna go hook back up with the fellas that stayed at Deadhorse Lake. We do have that descent down Deadhorse Pass, which neither one of us are excited about at all. But it is what it is. Sure is a pretty place though. Makes me sad to leave. Still glad we came. we made our way out of Rock Creek Basin and up the south slope of Deadhorse Pass. I'm damn near to the top.
Yeah, probably a little over halfway up the Rock Creek side of Deadhorse Pass. And it's going to be real interesting going back down the other side.
That's putting it mildly. But here in a few moments, I think it'll be the last climbing we're doing on this trip, thank God.
All downhill from here.
It was all worth it, don't get me wrong. Seen some cool places, did some awesome fishing. But there certainly was a price to pay, and we've paid it.
We've paid it.
Once again, we were enjoying that spectacular view from the top of Deadhorse Pass. Now all we needed to do was make it down the pass without incident and rejoin our friends at the lake. Well, shaking a little bit. Well, still a little puckered, but I think we've made it down the worst of it without incident, thank God. See you at the bottom. All right, well, we made it. Made it back to camp. That Deadhorse is a butthole puckering son of a bitch, I'll tell you that. I'm glad I did it. I don't think I'll be going over that one again anytime soon. But now we made it back to camp. Time to get things set up, hang out with the fellas, party on. We are breaking camp today. It's always a little disheartening when you have to leave such a beautiful and amazing place, but we all had responsibilities and families to get back to. Well, it's about 9 o'clock in the morning. Fellas are strapping on the packs, about ready to hit the trail. This one's been a good one. It's a little bittersweet leaving it. It was roughly 9 miles to get back to the trucks, but it was mostly downhill, and we had all day to get there. another one in the books. An awesome trip with good people, amazing scenery, and great times.